We could already be at war in cyberspace. That's the reality the Australian military is grappling with as it takes part in massive war games off the Queensland coast. Talisman Sabre is the biggest military exercise in the Pacific, and it involves 30,000 Australian and American troops. How it's being conducted reflects a world of increasing uncertainties and threats. I travelled to Shoalwater Bay near Rockhampton to see how modern warfighting is changing. These soldiers are rehearsing for war. Australia hasn't been able to execute an amphibious invasion like this since World War II. It hasn't needed to, but that could change.
These are essentially incubators, for emerging threats. So this hybrid threat it changes all the time, and the domains that are being introduced in the battlefield.
There are signs that while we're not officially at war, conflict has started.
Arguably, there is a warfighting domain in which there is already activity underway, so you can't ignore it.
That domain is cyberspace, and Australia's arming up.
We can't just concentrate on the old traditional military ways of blowing things up. We're looking to use every single thing that we've got available to us in order to make life as difficult as possible for the adversary.
In this mock war, the enemy will hack and disrupt to knock out the kind of tools that keep an army on the move. The main force can't win on the ground unless it defends itself in cyberspace and attacks.
You might also use cyber means to start to disrupt an enemy's ability to manoeuvre their own reserve forces. So if a sentry on a overlooking the beach that you want to use is trying to communicate with their higher headquarters but can't get through, you've achieved a war-fighting effect.
Big exercises like this one are well known for large, spectacular movements of troops. But as the nature of warfare continues to evolve, increasingly getting the upper hand will also depend on the soldiers you don't see. Cyber warfare is forcing rapid change within the Defence Force.
There's no shortage of very quick innovation in the battle space for our people, because if they don't innovate quickly, very bad things happen.
But deciding which cyber threats to respond to and how is taking time.
Generally, when someone is used force against us, government gives us rules of engagement and we have a way to respond. So we are still, I'll be honest with you, we are still thinking through what the doctrine of this means for us. What is an attack in cyberspace?
The West was slow to dominate the virtual terrain in the fight against Islamic State. China and North Korea already have dedicated cyber warfare forces. Shows of conventional power demonstrate one kind of military might, but the battle to keep it above the cyber fray has just begun.